Hi everyone, Julie here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I thought I would go through just a simple edit on this image that was from the Geisha shoot that I did a little while back. This is probably one of my favorite images. It's kind of funny how things work out like that, but that's what it is. So this is with model Elena, or Crystal Snowy on Instagram, and I've got just a few little marks from bra straps, some flyaway hairs, just a few little blemishes to fix up, and then I'm going to do some color toning and things to it. So first up, let's jump in and have a little look at just doing a cleanup. I probably should do a duplicate layer. The other thing that I want to do, and I might just get rid of that duplicate layer, the sizing, I want to recrop this a slightly different size. So because I tend to put a lot of stuff in magazines and things like that, and they require sort of this 8:10 ratio, and this is more a 5:7, so I just want to recrop that a little bit. So I'm going to set that on the crop, and I'm going to try Generative Expand. You could do that, or you could do content aware fill. Let's just see how it goes. So let's have a little look. It's not too bad. It could do with a little bit of fix up. Let's see what the other options were like. Not much better, to be honest. Probably doesn't make much difference. I'm gonna keep that first one, and I'm going to merge those, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a fill on that and see if it can get it a little bit better. And that is definitely a bit better. Okay, let's see if we can do this side a little bit better too. It's just got this sort of line that runs down the center of it, so it's easier to fix it up now than once you've edited it. And yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just going to do a duplicate of that, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to start cleaning up. So I'm going to go to the healing brush tool. Sometimes you have to switch between the spot healing brush and the healing brush tool. One uses AI pixels, and the other one you can actually select the pixels. Sometimes one does a better job than the other. Just a few little blemishes to get rid of. Might just switch to the clone stamp for some of these bigger areas. And if I drop the clone stamp to about 40%, maybe 70%, and I can clone out those bra straps. So now that I have done that, I will rename that one. Rename that one. And I can go into here and I can do some stuff. So I have got Skin Retouch. You need to select how much of the medium blur that you want. Then select the high pass amount. Okay, so what you can do then, it puts it into a folder. So if you come into here, you go into the blur amount, you can, with a soft brush on white, you can clean up the skin. Now, it will go a little blurry. But that's when you can draw it back to around about 25, thereabouts. Probably even go up to maybe 30. And I'm also going to do a little bit on the hand and the shoulder. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint over that same area. And if I zoom back in, this is putting the actual skin details back in. So this one blurred it. This one's putting the skin details back in. Again, it's probably too much, so I'm going to bring that back to around 30% too. So that's skin touching done. Now I can do eye color pop if I want to, but I just want to do eye highlights. So I'm going to click on that, soft white brush, and paint in those highlights. Now if I want that highlight a little bit stronger, I can bring that up. Now I've got teeth whitening or eye whitening. It works for both. I don't really have teeth in this image, but I can do a little bit on the eyes. Pull that back a little bit. I can come back in and do dodge and burn. I can do lots of other things. So let's have a little look at a dodge and burn. So again, just moving those out of the way, I can come in and I can paint in where I want the shadows. And if I jump over to properties, I can feather that off, go into lights. So what I do need to do, her skin is quite a different color to her face, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a hue saturation layer. I'm going to click on the toggle here, and that's bringing the reds down, so I'm just going to bring that down. Then what I can do with a black brush, I can pop that back in on her eyes, her lips and her face and her kimono. But her skin is much softer and less intense. It matches in with her face a little bit better. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press Control Shift Alt E and merge that all onto a new layer. And I'm going to come down to Alien Skin Xposure X3. I know it's a really old program, but it's still one of my favorites. And I have a favorite here selected, which is this Fuji Pro 160S. I just love it. And yes, I could use Film Pack 7, which I use for some of the others. I could use Dehancer. There's quite a few that I could use, but nothing seems to quite get it the same as what I have here. So, and I'm going to have it is. So that's before and that's after, so it's quite a dramatic difference that it has made. I love this film effect, it's just beautiful. I might even go into Film Pack 7 and see if I can do something similar. So let's just give that a minute to load up. Okay, so it's Fuji Pro 160S. Let's go into Film Pack and see if we can do something similar. So there's a couple of different Fujis, but not quite the same. That's close. Very magenta, no. Quite like this one. So this is the generic Fujifilm. Let's see how that stacks up against the other one. So So that's the Fuji Pro, and this is the one in Xposure, which I still love, but I might just bring the intensity down a little bit. So I'm going to get rid of that one and keep this one. Now the other thing that I brought in was some flower blossoms. Okay, so these are some blossoms which I think I got from Lemon Sky Productions, and I ran them through a Gaussian blur just to soften them up. So that's without, that's with, you can see them there. And then this one is a little less blurry. You can sort of see that they are petals sort of blowing in the wind. But what I did was I come in and I put a mask over it. So even though you probably would have had blossoms blowing over her face if it was in reality, but I just found them a little bit too distracting. So that's pretty much where I left it. I could come and enhance those reds just a touch. So if I come in and do a hue saturation layer, go into reds, I could just boost them just a little bit. So that's pretty much where I've left it. It's a gorgeous photo. I didn't have to do too much to it. A little bit of cleanup, a little bit of skin softening and some color toning, and we're done. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one today. I will put the links below if you're interested in the Photoshop actions that I use to retouch my portraits. They're available on my website. I will see you next time on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.